Hello, everybody. Welcome to the YNTAAY Minis. Today we're talking about the Tony nominations that just came out. I'm Chris Smith, and it's a very exciting time this time of the year because we love the Tonys at my house, celebrating excellence in Broadway theater. This year, the 4 nominees for Best Musical, I hate it when there's just 4, I like it when there's 5, include Come From Away, the new musical about the planes that had to be diverted to Newfoundland, Canada, to a town called Gander, right after 9/11. And it's not a 9/11 story, it's more a story of hope and goodwill in the face of tragedy. And that is nominated for, how many awards? Let's see. So many. 7 awards, including Best Musical. Another Best Musical nominee is Dear Evan Hansen. It's about a young man who commits suicide, and another man in his class, Evan Hansen, lets a lie come forth that he was good friends with this young man who died. And it just blows out of control and becomes a big social media thing. I have the CD and I just love it. The music is by Pasek and Paul, who I'm always talking about. They did the lyrics in La La Land, and they did songs on Smash in the 2nd season. Another musical is that's up for Best Musical is Groundhog Day, the musical. And yes, it's based on the movie with Bill Murray called Groundhog Day. And that's been getting really good reviews. Did you know it also has 7 nominations? Did I tell you that Dear Evan Hansen has 9 nominations? And the other big one this year is Natasha, Pierre, and the Great Comet of 1812. It is based on a bit of Tolstoy's War and Peace, and it stars Josh Groban. And it has 12 nominations, so it's the show that has the most nominations this year. I'm really excited because for the Best Revival of a Musical is one of my favorites, Falsettos, which I have talked to you about before. And that has 5 nominations, including the 4 leads of the show, Christian Borle, Andrew Rannells, Brandon Uranowitz, forgive me if I mispronounce that, and Stephanie J. Block. And it's also up for Best Revival of a Musical. And also Bette Midler in Hello, Dolly. Now that one has a whopping 10 nominations. So that's one of the hard tickets to get nowadays. And they only have 3 this year, which is sad because there were several others that were up. The 3rd nomination up for Best Revival is Miss Saigon. Now, how many nominations did Miss Saigon get? Only 2. So, but I'm more concerned with the shows that didn't get any nominations for some reason. Amelie, which was in Los Angeles, and I did a review of. I just loved it. I thought it was so much fun. I think the problem with Amelie, a new musical, is that if you didn't see the movie, you probably didn't have any idea what was going on in that show. And it starred Philippa Sue. I thought that Philippa Sue from Hamilton would at least get a nomination, but alas, she did not. Another one that did not get any nominations is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, starring Christian Borle. But Christian Borle's nomination went for Falsettos. So that was very interesting. And another one that didn't get a nomination was A Bronx Tale, the new musical. I love how musicals have to say a new musical. And Cirque du Soleil's Paramore on Broadway also did not get any nominations. Now, Warpaint with Patti LuPone and Christine Ebersole, that did not get a nomination for Best Musical, but it did get 4 nominations. And another one that didn't get anything was In Transit, the a cappella musical. Now, Anastasia, based on the film Anastasia, that only got 2 nominations. Now, mind you, it's better to be nominated than not, so 2 is better than nothing. Bandstand, the new musical, also got 2 nominations. I was hoping for a little bit more for that one. But it did get a nomination for Andy Blankenbuehler, who did the choreography for Hamilton and does it again for Bandstand. And it also got an orchestrations nomination. And oddly enough, the all-new revival of Glenn Close in Sunset Boulevard did not get any nominations, and neither did Cats. Now, this year, some of the exciting, and we won't tell you all the nominees because you can find them online, but some of the things that we're most excited about are the fact that for Best Performance of an Actress in a Leading Role in a Play, Kate Blanchett is up against Sally Field and Laura Linney and Laurie Metcalf, all 4 names that you know, and Jennifer Aile of Oslo is also up against them. So that should be a very tight race. And for Best Actor in a Leading Role in a Musical, it's Christian Borle of Falsettos, Josh Groban from Natasha Pierre in The Great Comet of 1812, Andy Carl, whom I love, is in Groundhog Day, the musical, and David Hyde Pierce from Hello Dolly. I knew his sister Barbara Pierce when she worked at CBS. Well, I worked at CBS. Maybe she still works there in the news department. And Ben Platt from Dear Evan Hansen. Those are the people up for Best Actor in a Musical. So that's really exciting. And of course, in Leading Actress in a Musical, you have Christine Ebersole and Patti LuPone from Warpaint, and Bette Midler up against Eva Noblezada from Miss Saigon and Denis Benton from Natasha Pierre. So that's exciting. Oh, and Nathan Lane and Danny DeVito are up against each other in featured actor in a play, up against Richard Thomas from what's his name? Goodnight John Boy from the Waltons. So they're all up against each other. Oh, and did you know that Cynthia Nixon from Sex and the City is up for Best Performance by an Actress in a Featured Role in Lillian Hellman's The Little Foxes? I believe I read that in college. Well, there's so much to talk about, but we've already talked for too long, so we'll talk more about the Tonys another day. And Lucius, isn't it true that your mother is up for a Tony this year?
Well, I'm not allowed to say who my mother is because of a non-disclosure agreement. But yes, my mother is up for a Tony, and she has been many times before.
Oh, well, that is wonderful. Well, Lucius and I will be watching for the Tony Awards on June 11th on CBS, hosted by Kevin Spacey. So I will be talking about the Tonys again. Okay, goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. I'll see you at the Tonys and in hell.